Hello YouTube friends. In this episode, let me tell the story of a young housewife and her husband's father who caused a big problem in their quiet marriage. Will it be a happy story, a dramatic one, or with a complicated ending? Let's watch this. Our story begins with the couple Karen and Yuta talking in the kitchen. The wife wants her husband to talk to his father about their situation regarding money. However, he worries about his father who is deeply saddened by his wife's death a couple of months ago. This may not be the right time to say the said problem, but he will try. His father entered the room and took a can of beer from the refrigerator. He asked his father if he had gambled today. The old man was suddenly irritated by his son's question, so he stopped asking and apologized. He also apologized to Karen for what happened. It was always like this. It was 3 months ago, her father-in-law was drowning his sorrows with alcohol and gambling. Her husband Yuta suggested he should live with them. She thought it was a good idea at that time. However, he continues to drink and gamble. Her husband can't bring himself to say anything. It's been just a month since the couple started living together. But for her, it seems like an eternity. In the next scene, the couple is talking on the cell phone. The husband will go home late because of the meeting in the office. Karen understood him. She went to her father-in-law's room to say that his bath was ready after that. He went out of the room and said thanks to the lady. And then, she went straight to her room. She's going to do something. In her closet, she gets something, a secret and magical object. I won't tell you what that object is because it's a secret, you know. The couple have been married for 2 years, but they rarely have a private moment, so she uses that thing to have some fun time for a while. Meanwhile, the old man suddenly looked for a soap. He was about to knock on her daughter-in-law's room when he heard something. He slowly opened the door and was shocked by what he saw. On the next day, Karen's husband has gone to work. Back inside, she caught her father-in-law taking money from her husband's wallet to gamble again. Will she report this to her husband? But he has something to say to his daughter-in-law. He told her that he caught her doing something last night. Does her husband know what she's doing? Her father-in-law has cornered her. Guilty of what she had done, she couldn't do anything. And because of that, the old man took control of Karen's vulnerability. That night, she didn't know what to say to her husband. And she couldn't sleep that night either. One day, she was home alone again. For some weird reason, she knocked on every door, including her father-in-law's room. Probably to make sure she was really alone at those times. And then, she proceeded to her room. She would do that funny thing one more time because she couldn't control herself. A few minutes later, the old man arrived. He was about to enter to his room when he heard an interesting sounds in Karen's room. He knew that weird, funny noise. So, he went in and the two did that thing for the second time. One night, while having dinner, Yuta plucked up the courage to talk to his father about the money at last. But for an unexpected reason, his wife stopped him. She said not now. No idea what was going on, the old man left the table. Since that day, something has changed in Karen's feelings. She went out of the bathroom that evening. She was going back to her room when her father-in-law met her in the hallway, asking where her husband was. She replied that he was already asleep. He then quickly dragged her into his room. Most likely they will just talk, nothing else. Just kidding. A few minutes later, Yuta woke up and looked for his wife. He knocked on his father's room and asked where was Karen. His father got angry. He said she wasn't there so he should look elsewhere. Yuta did nothing and just went back to his room. Meanwhile, Karen and her father-in-law continued their secret meeting inside. In the next scene, Karen continues to give money to her father-in-law to do his vices even though she shouldn't. She can't help it, she is no longer a good housewife with the way she tolerates the old man. She answered her husband's call on the other line. He apologizes to Karen for his father's behavior. There's nothing they can do. And even though she didn't want to, she couldn't stop herself, and once again she gave her father-in-law what he wanted from her. A month has passed, and their secret relationship continues. She develops something towards her father-in-law that she couldn't explain. All she knows is that she's happy and she feels like a complete woman again whenever she is with the old man. The end. Interesting. Perhaps, the moral lesson of this story is to be a responsible partner and always have time for each other. By the way, remember this, don't copy the wrong actions from this movie. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe and please, like this video. See you in my next story. Goodbye.